Welcome to another edition of the CEO's Blog. John, thanks for joining us once again. We had the Orange Carnival Cups on Sunday. It was a different look at Talwick Park on the grass, and it looked like a success.
It was a success. Very strong crowd at Orange, and they really appreciated the racing. The club, everybody that contributed to the event contributed very well, and we're on a high with Orange on the grass, and of course we'll move forward to next year. And as I say, great event. The kids with the mini trotters, it was just everything. We had a good collection of winners. Everyone enjoyed themselves. So Orange, next year we'll be there, bigger and better again.
There's plenty of teal at Orange, actually. There
was teal, and I must say, I announced last week that the winning team, male the female in the invitation, the Crichton invitation race, Harness Racing New South Wales would donate $1,000 to the girls. Well, what actually occurred was the girls, the Women's Cancer Research, received $1,000, and so did prostate cancer. Or their association, their research, received $1,000 from Harness Racing New South Wales, primarily because the boys won.
Well, Angela Hedges won the race, but the boys finished in the placings, didn't they?
That's correct, but there was a dispute. We had to take that dispute on straight after the race, and the easiest way out, as you know with me, I'm sometimes looking for the easiest way out, was to donate to two very worthy charities.
Yeah, good to hear. All right, well, this past week we've experienced a lot of hot weather and humid weather as well here in Sydney. Let's talk about the heat policy.
Well, I will actually let Graham Locke explain the detail of that, but it's very important to us. The equine welfare is important. Participants would be well aware of what happened with Menangle last week with moving the races back, and it was a successful meeting. There was no reports of any concern there, and of course we were worried about Orange, but it went across very well. A lot of meetings were actually moved back later into the night, so we do have an advantage there with the nighttime racing. But going forward, the policy will be reviewed. A bit disappointing, some participants are using the policy inappropriately, but that will be remedied. And we'll talk to the UHRA, and we'll have a policy that everybody understands. But I'll leave it to Graham Locke to understand what the wet bulb situation is. I'm only good with light bulbs, so that's where that'll sit. Okay,
all right, we're switching on. Okay, let's talk about two-year-old racing. There was a two-year-old race at Leeton last night.
Yeah, there was, and with the two-year-old racing, we released a calendar last October, which was in association with a very, very strenuous, very lengthy consultation process of where we are with two-year-old racing. As we know, we moved the Breeders' Plate back later into January, and the first race will only be on the 1st of January going forward in 2018. But what this has created is something new. The calendar is there. The trainers know when the race is on. The owners know when the races are on. But where we can, we're flexible. And what happened at Leeton last night, there were only 5 fillies entered, and we've had a number of races where there've been less than the 6 entered. So we opened the conditions up a little bit, and Colts and Geldings came into the race, but it was pleasing to note that a filly did win. Now, with those other races that haven't been conducted, I moved to Bathurst on Sunday, and because Danny Dwyer and the club were very proactive with encouraging trainers actually to enter for the meeting, even though it was a fillies event that was scheduled, and fillies races were what was required or requested by many of the people who made submissions. We've been able to run two races, one for fillies and one for colts and geldings, both with more than 6 entries. So we're flexible, but the trainers, the clubs, they need to be a little bit proactive as well. We will not be adding races as to dates onto that 2-year-old calendar, though. We will look at what we're doing at the time and move it around, because if we do get a case where we add races, we'll have 4 horses nominated here and 4 there and 4 somewhere else. So even though 3 4s equal 12, that's not 2 races, it's not 1 race. So trainers and owners should be mindful of what we're doing and be proactive, become involved and ring the handicappers and let them know where these horses are.
Okay, another big weekend coming up. We obviously have the 2 Miracle Mile qualifiers at Menangle on Saturday night, and of course on Sunday is the all-important barrier draw for the 50th edition of the Miracle Mile.
Yes, well, last week with the Cordina Chickens Chariots of Fire, we seen the mighty Lazarus, as they call him, he's always rising, win. He won very well over our Waikiki Beach. Both horses will be in the Miracle Mile for sure and for certain. As we move forward from there, however, we've got 2 great races in the Allied Express and the Canadian Club Sprints. Interesting races. The best horses that are currently in racing are there. The opportunities are there, and when you do the numbers, trainers and drivers, I suppose, will be heading for first, second and third to try to force their way into those races. So great, but the barrier draw, the all-important Miracle Mile barrier draw, will be on the Sunday, and it's an event that I'm sure those who attend will really enjoy, because I do know the club has gone overboard with taking a nostalgic look at what has occurred in the 49 runnings of the Miracle Mile. We'll have Kevin Thompson release the Ultimate Miracle Mile. That is that competition that the club's running, and I encourage people to enter that, because it might sound easy, it might seem easy, and it might look easy, but I am aware that to date, because the club is opening these entries, because there's a lot of work to be done, there isn't a winning entry in there yet. So don't despair, work it out and enter now.
Yeah, I've tried to have a crack, and you have to rule out some really nice horses to make a field. So anyway, it'll be very interesting to see on Sunday. I can't wait for it all. So hope you'll be there. I'll be there, and hope you'll be here next week as well, so we can have another edition of the CEO's blog. I
will be, but what is interesting in that, you haven't placed your entry yet, and you're quite eligible, of course, but because you weren't on that panel. Just a travesty that you weren't there, but that was only to give you the opportunity to pick the best 8 Miracle Miles in the 49 runnings thus far.
Okay. Thanks, John.
Thanks, Amanda.